Folks, what's going on? Hope everyone's doing well. Appreciate you tuning in to another episode of the pod. Players are fleeing Saudi Arabia en masse. Mass droves of players signed to the Saudi League on big money are now leaving Saudi Arabia and turning their back on said big money. We need to investigate to get to the bottom of what's going on the pod this week. And as we'll see, it has something to do with ladies who want to live a certain lifestyle and who are comfortable doing just that. The mob wife aesthetic is a big thing on TikTok now. I'm fascinated by it. I saw it the other day. My girlfriend was scrolling on TikTok and I hear, "This is how you could look like a mob wife," or something to that extent. And I was floored. And I did a bit of a deep dive. And there's much to get to. We need to get into that in particular. And as we'll see, there is a very important link between the people, the young studs leaving Saudi Arabia, turning their back on millions of dollars, and their ladies who want nothing more than to just be mob wives. I'm Sam Adamo, and this is the Bordello. All right, what's going on, folks? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to another episode of the Bordello. Dilo's here with me. Sergey Milinkovic-Savic, you just pulled this up on Twitter a second ago, apparently wants to return to Lazio. He's been at Al Hilal for 6 months. I assume Lazio will take him back. Here's the thing. He's assuming that Lotito will want him back. He's not going to pay money to get Milinkovic-Savic back. He barely wants to pay money to keep the lights on in the stadium. One of my favorite quotes, or one of my favorite lines about some of these older guys is my buddy Bernie, who regularly listens. He's a Lazio fan. His biggest gripe with Lotito is that he's a cheap bastard, and he said about him and De Laurentiis, I think I might have said this on the pod once before, but they'd rather play at noon than play at night and have to pay to keep the lights on in the stadiums. It's a great point. I think you met him once, the live show last year. He's right. I mean, Lotito's not going to pay to bring him back, so I don't know how Milinkovic-Savic thinks this is going to happen. I don't know if he thinks Lazio are just cucks who have no backbone, who are going to just accept whatever he says, they'll bend to his will. Maybe they will. I don't know. But he's been there for 6 months. And he wants to come back now. Likewise, Karim Benzema. More on Benzema. Olympique de Lyon owner Textor trying to find a way since December, as revealed yesterday, but package still too expensive. I apologize for the fact that this is a barely legible piece of news that I'm bringing to you guys. It was written by Fabrizio Romano, so it was probably written in Italian and translated in his brain. He doesn't use Google Translate, but he uses Fab Translate in his own brain. He writes it out in Italian in his brain, and then he translates it himself. Can we read that again? I focus on the words. If you're just listening to this, focus in on the words that I'm saying here. The words that are coming out of my mouth, which I'm reading. Olympique de Lyon owner Textor trying to find a way since December, as revealed yesterday, but package still too expensive. I guess that's fine. It just feels a little clumsy. It's compact. I don't know. I mean, who am I to critique him? He seems to know what he's doing. He's doing all right for himself, Fab Romano. I do like that. I mean, friend of the pod, Nima Tavali, and a bunch of other journalists think the guy's a charlatan. Because he aggregates news and he doesn't get scoops himself. I guess there's a real pride to the journalistic trade, and apparently he's seen as a hack. I guess, I don't know, kind of like how a lot of comedians make fun of like a Matt Rife or whatever for being like a crowd work guy. I actually think Matt Rife is funny. He's actually good. He's actually a good comic. It's not fair. He gets shit because he's fucking just hot and because women like him. But it's kind of like that, where it's like he's good at what he does. But because it's kind of like aesthetically pleasing and different, nerds will critique it. Nima's a nerd. I could say that. I mean, he's he's a lawyer. He's kind of they're kind of. I don't want my lawyer to be like a to be like a stud most of the time. Joe Tacopina is an exception to the rule. There are some cool superstar lawyers, but most of them kind of have to be a little autistic to just be able to read all of that and internalize it. I think it's endearing almost. But I've argued with Nima about this before. It is a funny thing to kind of. I guess I understand where he's coming from. It's his livelihood. It's his thing. It's journalism is his thing. But anyway, he's very peculiar about who gets the cosign and who doesn't. Romano does not. Maybe it's for tweets like this. It's just I don't know. See, here's the thing. Where does Fab Romano get this story? He's not getting the scoop himself, but there are dudes. You know what I think it is? I believe it's kind of like young guys who like Tate. A lot of them are missing the point. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of 12-year-olds. The issue that a lot of parents and teachers had with Tate was that their 12-year-old students would hear his stuff and they would tell their teachers, "Shut up, woman," which is funny. But, they're obviously missing the point. They're not really able to kind of, I think, dial into it to the same level that, an adult brain can, I suppose. I think a lot of young guys look at Romano's tweets and they're like, he's the GOAT. That's the thing. That word is thrown around too regularly now, GOAT. But Romano's the GOAT. You have any idea how infuriating that must be to journalists that are actually like going out there trying to get stories? And the fact that this guy just aggregates news and created an ecosystem where he could share them with a picture of a guy crossing his arms. Just a picture of any player crossing his arms. Young 15-year-old Brazilian Rodrigo da Silva da Lima is going to sign for Real Madrid. And it's like not his story, but he's just, I guess he kind of like screens other sources and decides what to tweet out. And he's somehow created an ecosystem where anything he said is kind of seen as being 100% or pretty close to happening. And it's because, to be honest, he just manifests it because he goes, totally confirmed, 100%. Here we go. Yeah, he turned it into a brand. It's all about the brand now. You got to have a brand of some kind. People value that. People value that they don't have to think. It's like, hey, what's going on in the world? Romano said so? Great. And then they go about their day. They go back to school. They don't need to know the credit. That's the sad thing about journalism is, I lisped very hard there. That's the sad thing about journalism. But that is the sad thing about journalism is, unfortunately, a lot of people don't give a shit about the scoop or the source. And a lot of guys are like, tag me, bro. Give me credit. It's my picture. You ever see that? Dude? People in the comments under a tweet will be like, bro, ping this guy. I get it. Remember the Ferrari episode that kind of did the rounds on Twitter? That clip of him talking about Sarri coming in his pants when the Twin Towers fell did pretty well on like Italian football Twitter because some guy picked it up and it was seen like hundreds of thousands of times and the guy didn't credit me. And I didn't really care. But Nima actually saw it and commented under ping at Sam Adamo. And I'm like, respect. Maybe 2 people saw it. But it's like, you kind of got to just you got to understand that no one really cares where it comes from. I mean, you want credit and you want people to be like, look at me. But
I think that's different, though. Because if people want to like go watch the more to it, like there's more to that.
Yeah, you're right. Full episode. Yeah, you could say the full episode's here. Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of pussy to say, sick tag, bro. Relax, That's how the internet works. In any event, Fab Romano talking about Benzema. Let me restart here. So the owner of Lyon is claiming that they've been trying to sign Benzema. It's a little bit expensive of a package. I don't know what that means. Does that mean that his salary would be too high? Presumably. I mean, he's probably getting paid a stupid amount in Saudi Arabia. So he'd have to take a massive pay cut to come back to Europe. But apparently he wants to leave. He wants to leave Al Ittihad, where I think, who's the coach there? The Portuguese guy. What the fuck is his name? Marcelo Gallardo. I don't think it was him at the start of the season. I think they fired the Portuguese guy. Doesn't matter. It was a name you'd recognize from European football. I don't recall. It doesn't really matter. He had a falling out with the coach now. Apparently he wants to come back. And, he's been there, 6 months, half a year. Credit to Ronaldo. Ronaldo's, I think, seeing it out because he's a god there now. He's doing whatever he wants. Right, okay, so it was Nuno Espirito Santo, right? Thank you, the guy who used to coach Wolves. Ronaldo's getting paid so much that I think it would be impossible to get him to want to leave. Too. Yeah, but Ronaldo's getting paid way more, for sure, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Ronaldo's not getting paid that much anywhere.
Benzema's getting 107 million.
Jesus Christ, dude.
A year.
What's Ronaldo getting paid? Like 200 million?
Something like that.
Someone might pay Ronaldo 50 million. They'd have to, pinch it together. But the thing is, the Saudis have no money. Sorry, the Saudis have no, they have no inhibition when it comes to money. Money doesn't exist there. 173 million euros, what Ronaldo's getting paid net. And I mean, I don't know, God knows what other shit he's getting on the side, like any little sweeteners, right? Who the fuck knows? When you retire, you'll get to own a city. I think he's gonna be a Middle East guy for the rest of his life. I've talked about this. I think Messi has decided he's gonna be an America guy. He's gonna come back to Miami and probably have a place there. I think he has a place there now. I think he already did. I don't know that for a fact, but it's what I think I heard once, which makes sense. Tons of Latin Americans in Miami. He's just gonna be a Miami guy. He's gonna be a South Florida Republican guy. He probably won't give a shit about Republican politics to that extent, but he's gonna benefit from it for sure. He's gonna be like, yeah, I like that I could just come down here and do whatever the fuck I want. The taxes are low. I don't know. And Ronaldo's gonna be a Middle East guy. He always was a Middle East guy. Middle Easterns loved Ronaldo more than Messi, always. A lot of the Latino guys like Messi more. The Mexican kids who work in the kitchen, Messi. Arab guys who work at the bank, low level at the bank, who are bank tellers, Ronaldo. That's who's in the mosh pit. It's kind of who he's always been. Ronaldo's always been this guy who's all about, he's kind of been a little Muslim always, just naturally. He doesn't eat pork, he doesn't drink, he only eats fish, he basically eats kosher already, kind of. He doesn't have any tattoos, and he's just all about work ethic and kind of fucking who he wants. I think that's kind of always been his thing. But he's never been a playboy about it. He was always very low key about it. Kind of like a sheik. You'll have these depraved desires, but you won't do it that openly. A lot of them will do it privately. They'll do it. They're not doing it, but they're doing it in a quiet setting because it's not a good look. That's always been his brand. Is I'm a football first guy. And the thing is, you also think Ronaldo has a little bit of that American Psycho fucking in the mirror type of thing, looking at himself in the mirror while fucking. But ultimately, I think something about his aesthetic, the big diamond earrings, it's very Middle Eastern. It's very flashy.
Rolex.
The G-Wagon. Yeah. The big watch. And I think the reason that he works in the Middle East is they're great at showering you with adoration. Middle Easterns with money are great at love bombing. They'll be like, he's a great champion. I mean, it's Cristiano. By the way, Conor McGregor is also going to become one of those guys. He could switch codes. He'll go back to Boston once in a while and go to New York City and be like, the Irish are fucking running. We're fucking running New York City. That's what it is. That's what it is, mate. St. Patrick's Day in Boston. We're drinking whiskey with the fucking lads. That was a little British, but you get it. He gets it. He gets American TV, the late night shows. He basks in it. He's very charming. He can go on Jimmy Kimmel and just go, I tell you something, Jimmy. There's something special about Dublin. It's the best place on earth. You could see him almost going into politics as well in Ireland. He's kind of this guy who, yes, he's a good fighter, was a great fighter, might never fight again. might fight tomorrow. You never really know with him. But Conor is this guy who's got this it factor. Ronaldo has it, but he's kind of more like reserved, where he's like, I'm the best and you know I'm the best. And it only comes out when it's implied that he's not the best. Then he gets petty and he whines. He throws hissy fits. McGregor doesn't really. He's just got more like alcoholic rage. And that's how he lets it out. So he'll be like, he'll yell at people more. But McGregor, like Ronaldo, is an ego guy. He's a big ego guy. And he's got the it factor that when he's talking, people just want to listen. Because there's no inhibition. There's no inhibition at all. He's just going. He's just yapping. And he fucking... People like hearing it. People like hearing it because here's why the Middle Easterns like it, is because he's rich and has a yacht. Americans like it because he has a funny accent. The Irish are kind of over it, actually. There are some Irish that were really into it for a while, and a lot of them are like, yeah, he's a bit of a wanker now. I was in Dublin in the summer, and everyone kind of knows, yeah, he just hangs around. He hangs around with gangsters all the time. He was a very humble lad, and now he's doing cocaine and just hanging around the pubs with these tough guys. It's like, who do you think you are, mate? It's like a lot of that. You don't want to be too flashy as an Irish guy. That can kind of rub them the wrong way. I think some people have an issue with Bono for that same reason, but in Ireland. But you could see him kind of doing one of a few things. You could see him becoming the Prime Minister of Ireland. You could see him becoming a movie star in the United States. Or you could just see him becoming a guy who goes back to Saudi Arabia so that when he lands, there'll be a bunch of guys with their phones out going, it's Conor McGregor! And they kind of just want to love bomb him with adoration, I heard that apparently Saudi Arabia wanted to get McGregor on their card in the summer. That's the most Saudi Arabia thing I've ever heard. It's not even a pay-per-view. They're never going to get him. But the audacity that they could be like, we will pay for Conor McGregor. Like, we will pay for Conor. We want the greatest champion. And he's not the greatest champion anymore. Ronaldo's no longer the best player in the world, obviously. He's 40, but he's still the man. He's still Ronaldo. He's still a great player. He's still maybe one of the best technical players on the planet. But they speak in absolutes. He's the best. You're the best. But here's the thing, man. I think eventually, unless you are that guy, unless you're Ronaldo or McGregor, who is never gonna get sick of going to fight in Saudi Arabia. I don't think he ever has, but he'll always be open to that prospect. Never say never. There's a lot of money to make in Saudi Arabia. They're good people in Saudi Arabia, good people. That's what he'll say. I love the people of Saudi Arabia, good people. What he means by that is they're good to me. Dana White always kills me when he's like, I love Dubai. The hospitality here is insane. I mean, it's sick. You've got to come to Abu Dhabi. If you're not coming to Abu Dhabi, the UAE is sick. His whole thing is the UAE pays them a stupid amount of money per year, which helps their bottom line. They put on an event there once a year. And do you always get the impression that the Abu Dhabi cards in the Middle East, any of the Middle Eastern cards, but the Abu Dhabi cards in particular, are kind of like talked up a little bit much? Do you understand what I mean? Dana kind of talks them up like, we put the best cards together in Abu Dhabi, but it's all just like Chechen guys. They're all just Chechen and Dagestani Muslim guys. He gives them what they want to see. And I think it does very well in that part of the world, but we over here don't quite get it. Dana knows it's a cash cow because they pay a lot of money for it. The tickets sell for a stupid amount, and because I think it does good numbers in different parts of the world. I think it does greater numbers in the Islamic world. And so what he does is he just talks up that event, and this is why he's great, is he'll talk every place up. I love going to Jacksonville. Who's in Jacksonville? It's fucking, It's Florida trash, It's Daytona 500 guys. He's in with them, but he's also in with the European fans. He loves London. He loves the London money, the London bankers, and the the British lads who love, you know, aggressive shit like fighting other fans at a soccer game or watching MMA. You know, real boxing culture in the UK as well, right? So he likes Australia because they're just wild motherfuckers. He goes down there and you got a bunch of wild bastards that'll get drunk and go to those events too. And then in the Middle East, it's a whole other different beast. But he kind of feeds into each one. Brazil, they're fucking just animals down there, right? Fucking booing, throwing shit into the octagon. The respectful historical culture of MMA in like East Asia. He's able to kind of just give reverence to all of them. But it feels a little bit weird when he's always like, Abu Dhabi's the best. You got to come to Abu Dhabi. I mean, if you've never been to Abu Dhabi, you're missing out. And it, you know, that's just part of the deal is it's Abu Dhabi tourism that's giving them money to put on these events. And part of the deal is he's got to talk them up. And he probably believes it because when he goes there, he's treated like royalty. That's the point. And when you're not treated like royalty, and I don't think Sergey Milinkovic-Savic is, you know, he's not living like a peasant, but unless you're Ronaldo and you're the king who could do no wrong and you could rape whoever you want and they'll defend you. That's the point, you know. McGregor could beat old men. They'll still say he's the guy, even though he's decidedly not been the guy for a while. He's still the guy for them. Unless you're one of those guys, it's going to get old. Here's the thing about Saudi Arabia. It's great. You get paid above market, you know, above your market value. But after 6 months, you want to kill yourself and you're fucking clamor to come back to Europe. You know, Jordan Henderson is going to Ajax now. He was at Steven Gerrard's club. Steven Gerrard. How long till he fucking leaves there? How long before Steven Gerrard is fucking fed up of people not understanding the Scouse accent? And just says, yeah, you know what, lad, I'm going to go back to coach fucking Blackpool or something. Like, he's not going to be there 5 years. It's a cash grab. It's China all over again. China all over again, dude. Apparently, Henderson isn't even getting paid for the 6 months. That's the thing. There are no rules out there. They're just withholding payment. They're like, oh, what, you're leaving? Fuck you. What's his team? Al-Ettifaq, right. If it sounds like Al-Ittihad, it's because it does. Ittihad is Benzema's club. Just as I'm trying to learn, just as I began learning all the team names, all the guys who I thought I wanted to watch in that league are just, you know, clamoring to fucking swim across the Gulf of Arabia.
You know who might be able to make the China comeback?
Who?
El Shaarawy.
What makes you say that?
He had a good game on the weekend. Maybe he's starting under De Rossi.
What makes you say he's going to go back to China, dude?
No. Like, I mean, like, usually players come back from...
He's been back, dude. He got national team caps.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
He got capped. He got capped under Spalletti recently.
Yeah.
He might be at the Euro, dude.
How old is he now?
32. 31. He's born in 92. I mean...
I want to see him do well.
So do I. Because, you know why I need him to do well is because I have a friend who has an El Shaarawy tattoo. So the better he does, the less stupid my friend looks.
What
he would have to really
tattoo?
turn, but just to be clear, for it to not be weird, he would have to like win like 3 Ballon d'Ors. Like even like you win 1, it's still kind of weird, you know? If Erling Haaland dies tomorrow, he never won a Ballon d'Or. He was the best player in the world for 2 years, but he like, you know, it's still weird to have a Haaland tattoo. No, my buddy had El Shaarawy sign his arm, and he got it tattooed the next day. But he was like 17. He was like 18 years old, dude. He was a kid, you know. And he grew up watching him. It was years ago. This was when Roma came to visit Montreal. He's been at Roma for like almost 10 years, man.
Left Milan, went to Monaco. 2016 Roma.
8 years.
2019.
But there was a little gap. Yeah.
Went to China for 2 years.
He went to China just in time for COVID. That's the thing, man. When you go to these fucking other countries, you got to understand the risk of, like, your wife could just get arrested. If you go to Saudi Arabia, your wife could just get arrested, dude. Your son might Your son might get arrested for doing ketamine and get sentenced to life in jail. Then it's an awkward situation. The fucking, your team is owned by the guy who governs the country. He's got to call in a favor. It's not pleasant. But yeah, Benzema apparently wants to come back, and Milinkovic-Savic does too. It's why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Do you think it's because of a culture shock? Do you think it's because of the isolation? Do you think it's because it feels like the football sucks? It could be any one of those factors. The fact is, when you go to Saudi Arabia, I just write you off, and I don't pay attention to you anymore. So I don't know what the hell has been going on with Benzema. I heard that he had an issue with the coach initially, who is no longer there, with Nuno. And, that's it. That's all I really heard. He could just miss, he could miss drinking. I don't think he's a big drinker, though. I think he's a pretty disciplined guy, actually. Not when it comes to sex, but when it comes to drinking, I think he abstains. Listen, Benzema's another good example of a Muslim guy who was kind of ashamed of the sex and the proclivities. But he fucks. He fucks for sure, dude. Anyway, Milinkovic-Savic coming fucking back to Lazio. I mean, sure, great. How does that look when a guy does that? He just leaves a club, goes to make a little bit more money, and comes back. It's like, was it worth it? I mean, I guess so. But wouldn't it drive you money that you're leaving that much on the table?
Wouldn't it what?
If you sign a 4-year contract, you could make like $250 million.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't it drive you crazy to walk away with 30? You're like, yeah, I made $30 million. I'm done. It's like, oh, really? That's
something must be really bad.
Are you not a man? What's wrong with you? Be a man. Take the money. Stay there and take the money. You play for Serbia. You don't need to come back to Europe. You're never going to win a Ballon d'Or. That's fine. That's okay. You're 29. Take the money. You're going to keep playing for your national team. Take the money. Take the money. I think the issue with a lot of these guys is actually one of two things. I blame the wife. Here's why. She either can't stand it to the point that she's like, we got to get the fuck out of here, or there is no wife to say, what are you doing? We need to keep this money. But I think a lot of the time, dude, if the wife has a comfortable lifestyle and she doesn't want for anything anyway, if you're a millionaire, as long as they could dress like a mob wife, they're happy. That's the thing. It doesn't take much to dress like a mob wife. A lot of women who will date footballers in particular just want to dress like a mob wife. They don't want to dress like a bohemian, an artist. They don't want to. They don't want to be. They don't want to be motherly. Some do, but most just kind of want to dress like a mob wife, like Sergei Milinkovic-Savic's wife, who I don't know if he has one. Good for him, but I don't know who she is. Okay, his wife, who I don't know. He has a wife. Zoom in. How big are her tits? That's kind of are they real? She's a doctor? Sizzling Instagram snaps. How long have they been together?
2017.
2017, he was 22. He was rich already. How old is she? That's kind of the barometer of how fucked up the relationship is. If you just want to pull up how old she is, the Dr. Wag, that Sun article, meet Natalia Ilic, the Dr. Wag of Serbia's World Cup star. Are you looking her up on LinkedIn, dude?
I was hoping to find just like the age here.
LinkedIn is crazy, dude. My former colleagues at CF Montreal sold out the season tickets for the season because everyone's buying for the Messi game, right? What's happening is a bunch of people are buying season tickets for like $2,000 in the hopes that they could sell the Messi game tickets for $1,500 and then just have like season tickets for $500 and give them to clients type of thing. People on LinkedIn are fucking insane, dude. I saw the post on LinkedIn the other day, Abonnement vendu. By the way, I know exactly how those conversations went. There's a French guy going, écoute-moi bien, Nassim. Écoute-moi bien. Tu payes ton abonnement, tu vends ton billet Messi, ça paye ton abonnement. Attends une minute. Ça brasse ce matin. Ça brasse ici. Yeah, John, what's going on? John, you got to sell the Messi ticket. It'll pay for the whole season. You give the rest to your clients. It's a no-brainer, John. That's what was expected of me when I was there during COVID. I was hired with a different task in mind. I had to bring people into the stadium. I had to like create like collective initiatives to fucking get like large swaths of like the city into the stadium. Like a large element of what I was doing was like marketing based, and then that became useless when COVID hit. And they're like, bro, cold calls, cold sales, and I had to call French guys and try to sell them on games that weren't happening. Dude. When the experts were saying, yeah, we probably won't be able to take masks off till 2022. And we all scoffed at it. And that's exactly what wound up happening, if you'll recall. Yeah. Yeah, there was a guy on LinkedIn, dude, under that post that I saw. It's like some guy posting fucking star player makes all the difference. Like people on LinkedIn that post comments are brain dead, and they're so happy. And it's like, hey, Joe Maniscalco from National Bank, don't post about the fucking Impact and MLS on LinkedIn. Don't do that. Leave it to Facebook. Keep it to Instagram, maybe on Instagram where you got 50 followers, your wife, your sons, a couple of your son's friends, 2 colleagues and friends from college. Keep it there, Joe Maniscalco. Keep it to Twitter. Guy, that's a real actual name. Joe Maniscalco from National Bank. Star player makes all the difference, huh? I always love when people are cynical on, even on fucking LinkedIn. Everyone is cynical about about CF Montreal and the Saputos. Like, oh, fucking Saputo's got to fucking spit out some more money. He only cares about Bologna, bro. Fucking, French guys saying, hey, Saputo, c'est calisse de l'équipe. And this commenting like they're, I don't know, just for some reason it feels like a hockey comment section, like they're commenting under the Habs Instagram posts just because it's in the French language. But I mean, yeah, people comment on LinkedIn, cynical comments on LinkedIn, Saputo out on LinkedIn, dude. I remember when I was at the club, people would comment on LinkedIn because when you're at the team, when you work for an MLS team, when you work for a pro soccer team, you think that it's the most important thing in the world. Then you realize that anything that happens doesn't make a drop. It's not even a drop it's a drop in the bucket in the whole ether, right? No one really pays attention to it. But in that world, you get a press summary every day of all the coverage that you're getting in the media, and you're like, hey, fucking people care about us, and you're like, Then you leave that world, and you're like, oh yeah, the team barely factors into my brain. But imagine, like, right, you work for Luton Town. Luton Town is your life. I mean, imagine you've been working there for 3 years. You've been working there for 3 years. They're now in the Premier League. I mean, the media attention now is insane compared to what it once was. And yet, I've not heard about them once this year. And I'm a football fan. I've kind of heard about them when they've played games. It's about it. But, I'm not focused on who should play at center back for them. But they're waking up in the morning, checking the news, Are we bringing in a new signing yet? It's like no one ultimately cares outside of that little bubble. But within that bubble, you still have people commenting. It's, I don't know, on LinkedIn. Just get out of the bubble, dude. Get out of the fucking Impact bubble. You're posting about a team's signings on a website where I could see who you work for. I could see that you're the head of like this division at National Bank. I don't know. I don't know, bro. How do we get to talking about LinkedIn? Oh yeah, the doctor.
She's 27. They're
She's
the same age.
They're the same age. Fine. Whatever. Dude, unless you have a wife who's like I guess a real killer. I'm talking she knows that you've got to make as much money as possible now while you can, while the shop is still open. And so, hey, babe, go make the fucking money. And if you don't like playing for this team, if you don't like the coach, you suck it up, bitch. You know, to the point, I'll divorce you if you leave. Like, I can't do this. I can't be with a guy who's this much of a fucking sap that he won't just shut up and take the money. Because we need to take over the world. Unless you're a woman who thinks that. Which, by the way, you can take over the world with a couple $100 million. You also definitely can't. You're useless with $200 million. You're nothing. But if you play your cards right and you're a psycho, you could invest in stuff. It requires work and playing Monopoly in real life, but you could do it. The thing is, most people, when they make $200 million, you know what they do? They go to Monte Carlo, they buy a boat, and they just get an apartment, pay a little tax, set up trust funds for the kids, some very low-risk investments, and they just go out for dinner whenever they want, and they just live like rich European cunts, and they play tennis, and that's it. That's it. That's all. They buy a house in Los Angeles or in Miami, and they travel. That's their life. That is stupid, because you travel and then you die. The legacy's done. Eventually, your kids are going to just have no motivation to do anything. Their money's going to run out. You need to have just a bit of get up. You could do a lot with $500 million, but you could also just squander it within 3 generations. Within 2 generations, you could squander it. And what a lot of these guys wind up doing is they just retire, and they're just wealthy guys who have had an interesting career. They played soccer. That was cool. I got an adrenaline rush for a number of years, and now I just have a lot of money. I went to Saudi Arabia for a couple of years. What else should we get? $20 million in China, probably. He's loaded, but he's also gotta kind of think about, what to do with that money. And a lot of these guys are focused solely on football, but what you wind up getting is, and this can happen in any relationship, by the way, is if you're just making money and you're comfortable and you could eat and you have a condo, you own your apartment and you decorate it nicely and it's clean and it's a new development and you live in Laval and you have a fucking, wife who wants to, just have kids, you raise the kids and you want to go on vacation. That's a humble life, but which is fine. But ultimately, you can kind of just get stagnant if you're just content to live off of what you have and look stylish. Do you understand what I mean by that? You have $30 million in the bank. You've made all your money. You're not really working anymore. You're going to kind of passively make a little bit more money per year. You could maintain the lifestyle. You have a house. You have children who you send to school. They're going to be little rich, self-serving cunts probably. And your wife wants to dress like a mob wife. That's it. Your lady wants to dress like a mob wife. The mob wife aesthetic is for her. And she wants to wear big chinchilla coats, go out, big sunglasses, eat at nice restaurants, and go to trash places on vacation. She doesn't want to travel and see the world. She doesn't want to go into politics. Neither do you. You have no intention of doing that. You might be a dud. She might be a dud. You're 2 duds who have found each other. You're a douchebag who fucking makes money and has a wife who wants a husband who has money so that she could dress like a mob wife. We did an episode a few months ago called, I think it was called To Be a Mob MILF. We talked about how when you want to pursue that lifestyle by any means necessary, it's risky. Dangerous things can happen, right? Or it is dangerous. Crazy shit can happen. It was after a lady who was married to a mobster got shot in the head. She owned a salon and she was happy and she was a mob wife. But the easiest means to that ends is to just latch on to a footballer, really, because it's stable income. It's stable income. The guy doesn't need to work like crazy executive hours. If you're married to a guy who's like got his own business and he's stupid rich, he's kind of gonna like put you in your place a little bit. Imagine, dude, you're like one of the biggest lawyers in the United States, okay? Millions of dollars per case. You have your own practice. You're fucking rolling into dozens of millions of dollars a year, tens of millions of dollars a year, okay? You're You're killing it, but you made it all yourself. You're not going to let your wife, unless you just want the trophy wife type of thing, but then you ultimately don't really respect her. But you're not going to let your wife just kind of, I don't know, man. You're not going to let her just live this kind of self-serving lifestyle where she shops for whatever she wants and look like a mob wife. You're going to say, no, you need to have a little bit of fucking decorum here. You need to have a little bit of class, and we need to kind of dress you in a certain way. We need to dress you in the Hampton style. We need to dress you in a blouse, a white linen shirt. A white linen shirt. You can't wear, you cannot dye your hair blonde like a Russian mobster's wife. You need to be a little more low-key. Footballers don't have that because they just kind of are young and rich, and they've not really done anything besides be good at a sport, which is valuable, and they deserve to get paid for it. But they just wind up with shallow women all the time who want to look like a mob wife. And as a result, when you're in Saudi Arabia, this is what this all comes down to. You're in Saudi Arabia getting paid $200 million a year, okay? You spend half a season in Saudi Arabia, make $100 million. There's another 5 years on the contract. You can make $1 billion, but your wife is like, you know what? I want to be able to go get a fucking oat milk latte, and I want to be able to talk to my mother. I want to be able to have my sister over. I don't like it here in Saudi Arabia. I don't like it here in Saudi Arabia. Oh, wow, we can't kiss in public. Suck it up. You got €1 billion on the line. You got €1 billion on the line, but she's got 100 million already. She's comfortable. You understand? So she's going to fucking ruin the kids' lives forever. You make €1 billion. You could fucking invest in businesses. You could become a venture capitalist. She has no interest. She just wants the mob aesthetic. She wants to dress like a mob wife. And she can. She's been able to do that since he was making €2 million. You understand how little you need to make to look trash rich? If you want to go to restaurants and have a fucking Maserati, you need $2 million. That's it. You can live in a fucking house that has a mortgage. You don't own it, okay? You're paying a mortgage. It's a 20-year mortgage, dude. It's a 20-year mortgage. You have disposable income. You have a line of credit. You could fucking go to the Maldives if you want. You could buy an Urus. You want a Lamborghini Urus? Ooh. My husband drives a Lambo Urus. What do you drive? What do you drive, bitch? He's got an Urus. He paid $1 million for a fucking car. He makes $5 million a year. $1 million of it is on a car. You know, you need to think long term. A lot of these people can't. It pisses me off that Milinkovic-Savic is leaving money on the table. You have any idea how infuriating that is? He's 2 years older than me. How much is he getting paid per year? $20 million per year net. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? How many years is his deal?
3 years.
3-year deal. He can make €60 million. He made 10. And that's it. She's out. She's a doctor. She's done. She's not practicing in Saudi Arabia, is she? Don't tell me she's thinking about her career. You selfish fucking twat. She's thinking about her career? She can't practice medicine in Saudi Arabia? I don't understand. They all speak Arabic, you know? She hasn't practiced in years. Does she actually practice? We're just getting to the bottom of this guy's personal life. Why he should divorce his wife. Man United target. Sergei Milinkovic-Savic's gorgeous wag. Has a gorgeous wag who he's absolutely smitten with. Doesn't say whether she actually practices. And by the way, I hope he's happy. They look very happy. And she might be a great person. But it's like, you got to think big, man. You got to think beyond. You got to think beyond the day-to-day. Oh, how fuck, the last 6 months have been brutal. How will we ever make it to 3 years? Just do it, man. Just do it for the fucking money. How much would Lazio pay him? $6 million a year? $5 million maybe? You won't. There's no way of knowing. He might have been making about $5 million before, but what will they pay him now? I don't know. Lotito's probably gonna underpay him, dude. Then he's not gonna pay him more to get the guy back. He's older now, and he offloaded him already. I don't know how he would even wind up going back. I think he just has to demand that he go. He has to demand a transfer, and Al Hilal will just say, "All right, fine, we'll let you go." Right?
He was making $3 million at Lazio.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? You think, dude, Lotito's not going to pay him that again, dude. He's going to pay him $2 million a year. Fuck, man. Why Lazio? Just go back to Man United. Go back to Europe. Go elsewhere. Go to a team that'll fucking pay you stupid money, man. I don't know. He misses fucking carbonara. Like, I don't know, bro. Whatever, man. That's really fucking annoying. That's just really annoying. It is kind of stupid how. It is very stupid how. Once we're comfortable, we get lazy. You know what I mean? Once all your basic needs are covered, you relax a little bit. Then once you make stupid money, probably for a couple of years, and you're top 1%, by global standards. Once you're a millionaire, basically, right? Once you're a millionaire, you're done. You're done. You're like, look, not only am I comfortable now, my family no longer really have to worry about their finances. I have a large house. I can have whatever cars I want. I get, I have nice clothes, and that's it. I'm happy. It's so simple. It's like you're just living like a factory worker. I'm not kidding. If you're making €3 million a year and you're just happy with €3 million a year, you're kind of just like a factory worker. In that you're just supporting your lifestyle. You're setting a lifestyle and you're saying, that's it. I'm done. Bashed. I'm supporting myself according to my means. Go to TikTok. I sent you a bunch of shit. There's a thing now called the mob wife aesthetic. There's a thing now called the mob wife aesthetic, dude. It is apparently all the rage on TikTok now. And it is... It's infuriating. Just
Voici la nouvelle trend.
Pause. This is in French. She's saying, so now mob wife is in. It's very glam. It's very glam. No, bro. There's only one way to be a mob wife. There's only one way to be a fucking mob wife, okay? And that's to fucking sound like you come out of a sewer. If you don't sound like you come out of a sewer, you can't be a mob wife. Okay? If you have not hit your husband, you can't be a mob wife. If you have not threatened to stab him, if you've not thrown a vase at her head, if your name is not Carmelo Soprano, you can't be a mob wife. I want you to play through a couple of other reels here. Maybe in the English language. The French one's a weird one to kick it off with.
Clean girl is out, mob wife era is in, okay? Starbucks and black puffers are out. We're wearing vintage furs all winter. All really need to step into our mob wife era. Like, we're already seeing, the cheetah prints, the...
Stop. Cheetah wife. The cheetah wife, dude. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Dude, I fucking know it. I like the cheetah wife since I was 17 years old. Clean girl is out. Mob wife is in. Mob wife is in now. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to dress like you fucking slap your husband around a little bit and he slaps you back, but you fuck really well. You fuck really well. He cheats on you a lot, but when he fucks you, he does it aggressively. That's what you want. You want to look like this Armenian lady. You want to look Armenian. That's what you want. Okay? So clean girl is out. You're no longer going to wear your yoga attire to go get coffee now. You need to do an excessive amount of makeup, a gratuitous amount. They don't know what that word is, gratuitous. But you're going to wear big sunglasses and a chinchilla fur, and you're going to go out and say, yeah, my husband puts food on the table, but I don't ask questions. You're playing a character. You're playing a character, dude. You know what I'm saying? You can't be a mob wife and pay with a credit card. You can't do that. You need to own a salon, and your husband needs to have done time. You need to have a sister who got shot in the head outside the salon that she owns. You have any idea how insulting this is to fucking, what's her name? Claudia Iacano, dude. Dude, Claudia Iacano, Salon d'Oville. Her fucking children should see this and be like, you know what? I'm going to kill these people. I'm going to track them down and kill them. I'm going to call my fucking father, who's the mob guy, and say, listen, I know you're still grieving over mom. We need to stop this. We need to stop this because a lot of people now don't understand what it's really about. It's kind of like gangster rap. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you don't have a guy rapping about, if you're a rapper and you can't honestly say that your friend's been shot in front of you, a lot of other rappers won't really take you seriously. That's just kind of how it is. This is the same thing. We cannot take you seriously as a mob wife if you sound like a clean girl. She's like, clean girl is out, mob wife is in. We're going to want to put a really smoky, fucking smoky eye thing going on. What do they put? Mascara, eyeshadow? I don't know. Like you have a fucking clue. No sisters and no girlfriend. This fucking guy who's married to his Bet365 account, one of the bros, probably loves Sean Strickland. How happy were you that Sean Strickland was coming out against the trannies last week?
I watched those.
You watched those press conferences a little bit. I'm asking you about Smokey Eye. Oh my God, dude. How many times did you watch that video of him going, here's the thing about Bud Light, guys. Like, transgenders used to be a mental fucking illness 10 years ago. I'm surprised, by the way, that more transgenders don't just come out and say, yeah, I'm mentally ill. Because now your mental illness is your thing. They go, I'm bipolar and I'm transgender. Like, dude, it's because if you say I'm autistic, a lot of people don't take you seriously because it's not a visual thing. But if you say, yeah, I'm transgender, my mental illness is I'm transgender. And you're fucking a chick with a dick, you know? Or you're a guy with tits. You got the 5 o'clock shadow and you got tits. And you could say, yeah, like, you know, I go to therapy. I'm transgender. You know, I'm just I don't really know who I am. You would look at the guy and be like, yeah, I believe you. You know, you very much are. You very much are mentally ill. Like if you just say, yeah, I am. If you own it and say this is a mental illness, people will be like, yeah, I could get on board with this. You know, sure. You know, it would almost be better for, you know, public acceptance because then you're going after a person with mental illness. That's the thing. Let's be honest, a lot of the transgender people probably do have some kind of mental illness in some capacity. Like a lot of them are deeply confused and depressed, traumatized. A lot of them have crazy PTSD. They're confused. But it's like we almost, I think a lot of people don't take them as seriously as people with other mental illnesses that are just, you know, suffering with bipolar disorder that need to go on meds for that because I think they just won't own it. A lot of the guys who want to go about this lifestyle and be like, yeah, I'm a woman now, I'm changing my sex. It's because they kind of just will say, yo, this is what it is, and you've got to believe it. You've got to actually say it with a straight face because it's reality. I think because that's the line that's taken, that's the line that's towed, a lot of guys will look at it and say, all right, I'll go along with it, but fuck, what's wrong with these guys? In the back of their minds. And to the bros, they'll be like, what the, you fucking believe this guy? A little bit. That goes on in private, obviously. Let's not kid ourselves. But if they just owned it and said, yeah, we're mentally ill, then I don't think people would laugh at them as much. They would just go, yeah, all right, the guy's a fucking nut. What do you want? You know, you just kind of own it. Sean Strickland. I thought he won. I thought he won the fight. Did you think he won?
He won the first round. He won the last round.
I thought he actually kind of, honestly, going into the fifth, I thought he was losing 3-1. But upon reflection, upon seeing how many other people thought he won, I've now decided that I thought he won. I thought Drickus won round 2.
Either way.
Yeah, I don't know. The exchanging of the jabs was very back and forth. I mean, Drickus won round 4 for sure. Mm-hmm. Sean was complaining that he headbutted him. I think he might have, but I don't know that it was illegal. I think it was like a clash of heads. It was like an accidental clash of heads that led to him bleeding profusely from his fucking brow. Anyway, it's enough. That's enough talk about the trans. What's there to really say about them? I mean, yeah, just if they said I'm mentally ill, the problem is them saying they're mentally ill kind of like devalues their whole thing where they're like, call me by my pronoun. If they say I'm mentally ill, call me by my pronouns, you could then say, fuck you, you're mentally ill.
It's like, I'm schizophrenic, call me John.
Yeah, you'd be like, no. You might do it, but you'd be like, all right, I'll do it just because I don't want to set you over the edge. That's kind of how a lot of people talk to a lot of transgender people now. They're like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. What do you want? I think they're great. Please don't kill yourself. You know? Whatever. Dude, if you speak properly, you can't be a mob wife. You need to sound like you don't really know the English language. But me, Pino, he's working there. He's with the guys in there, and he bought me this jacket. It's nice, huh? It's nice, huh? I went with Nadia and with Cinzia to get coffee. She's telling me Bruno's not really, he's not there for the kids anymore, and it's like I don't know. Like, okay, you could be a mob wife. You know what I'm saying? Your husband could run a convenience store, but if you sound like that, you can be a mob wife. You don't get to dress the part. A lot of these women kind of like to dress the part. That's the thing. They're playing dress up. What's this other lady got to say?
Mob wife winter, mob wife aesthetic videos. But I just want to know who's checking these bitches' resumes. Who's checking the resumes, the people that are setting this aesthetic? Because I'm going to tell you something right now. If you've never had a family member, a loved one, a boyfriend, a husband, go to jail. An uncle. I don't want to hear it. Okay?
Right. Stop.
I don't want
to. This is too much. She's too much now. You don't defend the lifestyle either. You don't say, what you don't do as a mob wife is say, you ain't about this. I'm about this. Don't talk to me about it, honey. She's obviously a little more New York, right? She's like, listen, in Brooklyn, we don't fuck around with that. We just are that, okay? You can't do that either. You cannot talk about how you're a fake mob wife. I'm a real mob wife. You know what I'm saying? I could pull off this aesthetic because I'm about this lifestyle. No. They can pull it off. That's the thing. Here's the thing. This is the weird thing about this. Who is worse? The real mob wife who's going to defend mob wives, or the women that are trivializing it? I'm not offended that women are trivializing it. I don't care that they are. But psychologically, it's just funny to observe. It's fun to observe women that are like trying to play a character in real life, you know? It's giving Karen from Goodfellas. You ever hear women say that? It's giving this. It doesn't make grammatical sense. It's giving Young. What? I mean, it's giving Young vibes. It's giving off the vibe that you're a little childish. Is that what you're trying to say? What do you think about him? It's giving Young. Oh, ooh, I love your coat. It's giving mob wife. It's like, you got to make fun of that because they're not owning it. You don't talk about the thing. Just don't talk about it. Don't intellectualize everything on either side. Don't say, my vibe is mob wife today. Shut up. Just fucking let other people think it. Let other people think you look like a mob wife. You don't have to say this is the mob wife aesthetic. Here's how to look like a mob wife. We know. We've seen the fucking Sopranos. We've seen the fucking Real Housewives of New Jersey. They're not mob wives, but they dress like them. It's the aesthetic. We understand. Sometimes Kim Kardashian will go out with her fucking black boyfriend, who the mobsters hate, you know. They would never claim her. Oh, look at her. She's fucking Knight Rider over here. Oh, fucking Kim Kardashian. Fucking stupid whore over here. What the fuck, you know? I fucking, not for nothing. I like black guys. But what the fuck is it with fucking all these black guys? You know what I'm saying? She still looks like it. She doesn't have to be about the lifestyle, you know? If you have a guy who's doing time on the inside and you just want to fucking, you spend cash on furs, yeah, you're a mob wife. But you don't say I'm a mob wife. And you don't say all these other honeys who are trying to do this. Nuh-uh. It's like, why? This is not the thing to gatekeep. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's, who's the best at this? Russians. Russians will do it and they'll shut the fuck up about it. Russians won't say a damn thing. They will be like, yes, I'm wearing coat. Fuck you. That is all. I want the what? Chanel. Yes, you can buy fucking purse, you know. You know, funnily enough, Russians will be like a Russian wife. You would think that like having an Eastern European wife and playing in Saudi Arabia would lead to you never leaving Saudi Arabia, because although they are living the lifestyle and they're like, yes, what? I don't care. Yes, I have a lifestyle. Now we can go back, make less money. What? Make less? No, we make more. We make fucking, we need to, they got to keep the ship rolling, I feel like. They got to keep the shit rolling. They know that. Russians are smart. Russian women are like men. You ever notice that?
Some.
They're like men. They'll call you gay. They'll be like, what are you, sissy boy? Like, what are you? You're not man? Come fuck me. Come fuck me, buy me Chanel. Make money. What you do? You want to fucking go back? What are you, bitch? Fucking... I stay home. We live in Saudi Arabia. I don't care. I won't leave the fucking... I won't leave the house. That's the problem. As long as they could travel. Because they do want to go out and flaunt stuff, right? So if if they can't go out with, with heels and show off their legs and a skirt, they won't like it. They won't like it a lot. But if they could travel and get their fix, that's okay. If home base is Riyadh, but you could take them to Miami once in a while. Beverly Hills, Smith & Wolinski's, Bouchon, Amalfi, Capri, Yachts, Chanel, London. They're okay. They're okay. Because, because they've been bred to just accept harsh conditions. They've been bred to accept horrible... Fucking just drinking potato alcohol, dude. Eating potatoes, freezing their fucking ass off, dude. Having no freedom. Just I don't know. Parents that don't tell them they love them. Literature about about tragedy, So they've been bred to kind of just accept harsh conditions. So they're okay with living in Saudi Arabia and just being quiet for a while. I won't go out as long as you make the money so that one day we can have more money. The Russians are good at that. They'll do the mob wife aesthetic thing and they won't intellectualize it ever. They won't say, I want to look like a mob wife. They'll just say, they do it the right way. They just go, I want fur. Why? Because I'm a woman. I'm a woman. I want fur. This fucking stupid twat over here saying, listen, you never had an uncle go to jail? You ain't never been to Bay Ridge, honey. All right? Fuck you. There's a last one. There's the last video I think I should have sent you. I don't know if you got it there. I didn't watch this full one, but there's a lady from Montreal at the end. Not available? Okay. The last one was from a chick in Montreal. She was endearing. I feel bad. I mean, the problem with her was she, unfortunately, because she's from Montreal, couldn't express herself. So she's like, bro, I'm seeing Bob Wife. Like, what? Like, what is this, bro? What is going on? And that's the end of the video. It had like 10,000 likes. So she gets it. She gets that it's crazy, but she cannot express it. I think a lot of people in the East End of Montreal see the mob wife thing, and they're like a little like skeeved by it because they're like they understand that it kind of trivializes a look, and it's weird to intellectualize it. But the only way that they can kind of like surmise it is by saying, bro, that's gay. You know what I'm saying? They cannot really understand. Like, they can't quite express it to the same extent that this this New Jersey sewer rat was was talking about. The move for a lot of Montreal Italians is to say, by these English people fucking wanting to look like us. That's what it is. It's these English people wanting to look like us. All right, we're back. So the pod is done. D'Lo and I finished recording the pod. And as we were cleaning up, I was curious as to why that video that I thought I had just half an hour before when I sent it to him seen was available. I was wondering why it was unavailable. I just wanted to see if it was offline or not, if it was a glitch or something. So I looked it up and the video was actually still available. It wasn't made unavailable. So I was confused. And D'Lo said, oh, fuck, I know what happened. Why don't you say what it was?
So, I kept seeing your videos on TikTok.
Well, this one girl whose video we're about to play, and we've rectified the issue, by the way. You've rectified the issue, but
we'll get into it.
Yeah.
So, kept seeing your videos on TikTok. Very annoying voice.
You're right.
Videos. So
very East End Montreal is who this person is, as we said before.
It's just over the top. And so I just kept clicking not interested, try to get less of this person's videos.
Yeah. Well, by the way, this isn't over the top. This is just Montreal. This is just Montreal East End. This is the most Montreal Italian thing you're about to see ever. Is this video that we're about to play? And I think a lot of people that aren't from Montreal that listen to this pod that don't quite understand the accent that I'm putting on sometimes. It is this. It exists. It's a real thing. Yeah. This is certain cafes, certain schools. This is what it is. So you told me you blocked her. You actually blocked her. That was the issue.
That was.
So that's why you couldn't see the video. So I sent it to you and it was like, oh, this is unavailable. But it's because you blocked her because you kept seeing her. It kept trying to feed her to you.
Yeah.
It was like, this guy likes other Italian stuff. That's all in his algo. He's interacting with it. Mm-hmm. Feed him this girl. And you weren't into it. Understandable. Because, respectfully, she sounds like she's from a sewer, which is fine. It's that doesn't preclude you from being a good person necessarily, but it's not for everyone. The accent it's a little over the top for some people. For some people can handle it, some people can't. I have friends who sound like this, and they're cool, but they're a lot. I take them in doses. So, she makes some good points. I want to pull this up here again, but there's some interesting takeaways from this video as well. I do want you to play this. Go.
Guys, are we really doing mob wife aesthetic? Are we really?
Pause.
Are we really doing that?
I know this is a lot. I know it's a lot. Okay? I know it's a lot, but just power through, okay?
Because, guys, I want to delete the app now. No. I'm sorry to put the elephant in the room, but what the fuck am I watching?
Put the elephant.
You look like Gumas.
Put the elephant in the room. Put the elephant in the room. You get it? That's what I mean. She means well, but there's just a little bit of I don't know. There's a little bit of there's a little something off a lot of the time when they speak. They'll just fuck up one little part of the expression.
The elephant in the room.
I don't want to put the elephant in the room, but you look like Gumas. She's saying, she's right. Here's the thing. Because she's from Montreal, she can't express herself all that well. Right? We're going to put the elephant in the room. Guys, what? What's going on? But she's right. They do look like Gumas. But that's the extent to which people in Montreal can criticize this. Bro, you look like a clown, bro. You're a clown. You're not a mob wife. You don't know, bro. So the Jersey lady from before, she was kind of worse because she's like, the problem with New Jersey Italians, with fucking Italian Americans, is they take too much pride in it. They're like, yeah, Sopranos, that's what's up. That's what we are, man. You've never had an uncle go to jail. No fucking came over here for a better life. It's like, shut up. Shut the fuck up, man. Nobody wants to hear you talk about how oppressed the Italian people are. We got it tough. We need the Italian-American Anti-Defamation League, ironically, which was set up by Joe Colombo, the fucking mafioso who's like, there is no mafia. We're going to set up this organization to deny that the mafia exists. They're a lot. at least, there's less of a defense of like the culture here. It's not like, bah, I'm proud, bro. It's like, you're stupid. Instead of saying, you're not us, you can't be us, only we're us. That's a bit of the undertone, but they don't say it overtly. It's like, you look like a clown. The Montreal attitude is, you fucking look like a clown. Bro, you're English, bro. You can't pull it off, bro. That's what a lot of them will do. Bro, you're a manja cake. You can't pull it off. And that's a little silly, but it's kind of true. It's kind of true. Finish it off.
You don't look like a mob wife. You look like Gumas, bro. I saw this one girl from fucking England. Oh my God. She had her martini in her hand like this and goes, get ready with me to be a mob wife. I have my fur jacket ready and I cannot wait. Shut your mouth! What? Guys, we're not doing this, guys. Stop! I support all cultures, but look, I'm not good at the clean girl aesthetic. Guys. Let's think here.
Pause.
We don't want to.
It's enough. I know. No, you can't. But that's Montreal. Guys, use your head. Guys, let's think. What are we? Are we clowns here? Like, guys, she had martini in her hand like that. No, yeah, that's funny. That's a good point. The girl in England shouldn't be. The girl in England saying we're gonna be, we're gonna dress like a mob wife. Yeah, okay. You're gonna be over it in 2 months. You're not about the lifestyle. She is right to an extent. Now, again, people in Montreal see that and they find it funny. Oh, it's a Montrealer going, get ready with me to be a mob wife. And it's like, oh, bro, you're killing that UK accent. Bro, what? She pivots from the UK accent, which isn't a UK accent, worse than my fucking, worse than me, right? When I fucking try going Cockney and I wind up going Scottish sometimes, You've heard me do that, right? Or I'll start off Irish and I go English at the end. This is worse than that. This is her attempting something, but her mind's in the right place. The execution's not there because, unfortunately, she's been contaminated with a Montreal Italian brain that doesn't enable her to kind of like break free of this weird method of speaking, okay? But she is right. She is right. She paints a really good picture of the type of girl that'll do this now, which is a lot of good girls, a lot of good wives. You need to have a little bit of edge. You need to threaten to cut your husband's cock off if you're going to pull this look off, I'm joking when I say you need to have slapped your husband, but it's more like a cat fight, right? He comes at you and you're just like, get the fuck away from me. Kind of like that, I've, never fought my girlfriend, but I've had to maybe this is a lot of guys, but I've had to go to her before she said, get off, you need to have a little bit of piss and vinegar, right? I don't know that some of these women do. Get ready with me. We're going to do the mob wife makeup. It's like, stay in your lane. Stay in your fucking lane. Stay in your lane. This isn't for you. If you're not going to ruin a guy's life, and I know every woman is to an extent. Don't get me wrong. You all do a really good fucking job of doing that, and we need you, and we kind of need our lives ruined. By the way, I want my life ruined. That's kind of the point. You want your life ruined to an extent. But unless you're going to ruin it in a way that's kind of overt and operatic, you cannot pull off the look. You know what I'm saying? You can't just put on leopard print, man. You need to be leopard print. I said before, when I was 17, I knew I liked leopard print because I would see mothers wearing cheetah to hockey games. And something about it just felt right. It was like, oh, there's something here. I don't know what it is, but it's the thigh-high boots and the fur and the macaque parka jackets and the big glasses and the dangly earrings and the big fucking diamond ring, and the yelling. You gotta yell in the stands after yell at your boy, You need to be the hot mom that everyone kind of wants to fuck. You wear cheetah. You're very overtly sexual and loud and you defend the kid. You need to fucking have yelled at the ref or yelled at a teacher. If you haven't yelled at your kid's principal before because he got in trouble, for selling, I don't know, selling like contraband belts at school, If you haven't gone to the principal and said, he's entrepreneurial. You should commend this, You You should be promoting this kind of behavior. He's a good boy. Unless you've got that in you, you can't really pull off the look to an extent. I do understand it. She's on. Did you block her again? She's back blocked. All right, thank you. Back to your regular programming. By the way, I like the mob wife aesthetic. I like the idea of a lady who could, dress like a mob wife, but I don't want to feel like that's me making it. I haven't made it when my lady could dress like she's a mob wife necessarily. In some people's minds, that's it. That is making it. They just want to be able to dress like one and shop to keep looking like one, in different stylings. That's the whole spiel. But to be a mob wife, you can't do the smoky eye thing and wear a chinchilla coat. You cannot. To be a real mob wife, you don't need to be the wife of a guy in the mob. But to really pull off the look, you need to essentially have just enough money to feel rich, but for actually rich people to look at you and scoff and think you're a piece of trash. That's it. That's where the buck stops. You need to drive a Porsche. If you have a personal driver, you can't do it. You need to drive yourself around like a dog in your Porsche. Ooh, I got a Porsche. Well, a $130,000 car. You're driving yourself. You got no money. You got no fucking money. You understand? Unless you have a driver, you're not fucking... No, but don't do that. Don't scoff. Unless you have a fucking personal driver, you're nothing. You're nothing. You're in traffic on the Met. You got to take helicopters. You don't take helicopters to meetings. I'm sorry. You don't got it. If you live in a new development in an area that 20 years ago was a field, you could be a mob wife, but you're not really loaded. The mob wife aesthetic is not for anyone who's actually rich. It is not. It is for nouveau riche. It is for Persians. It is for Jews. It is, of course, for actual wives of gangsters and people that are locked up doing time. But it is above all else for people who have not really made it but think they have. It is for people who think that a BMW is your ticket to freedom. Financial, respect, otherwise, whatever. To pull off the mob wife aesthetic perfectly, you must love getting choked. If you don't, you're too vanilla. It doesn't work. I'm sorry, it doesn't work. You must love getting choked. You have to. Stance on anal sex, not really relevant. Not in this case. Not really relevant. But, yeah, not relevant. No, I'm just realizing, no, it's fine. There's too wide a spectrum of people who enjoy butt play. Butt play transcends the socioeconomic spectrum. You could be rich and stuck up and say, ew, I don't want that. But you could also be like, yes, my dad fucking never told me he loved me. Lick it. Goes one of two ways. In order to successfully pull off the mob wife aesthetic, your children must not have a very high level of literacy. And it's your fault. It's your fault. In order to successfully pull off the mob wife aesthetic, you need to love team sports. You need to have a husband who likes team sports. You can't have a husband who plays tennis or cycles. That doesn't really count. You're not really pulling it off. It feels a little inconsistent. If your husband cycles, he's too focused on his health in the right ways. He's too soft. Don't work. You need a husband who gambles. You need a husband who might have a side piece. He may not. He may love you. But you're playing a part, in order to really be about it, you need to have a husband. If he doesn't, here's this. He cheats on you or he cheats the system. If your husband don't cheat the system, not for you. Not for you. He needs to at least be open to a score at all times. He could be a white-collar worker who works in finance, but he's got to be willing to commit some kind of white-level crime. White-collar crime, I should say. White-collar level crime. Or a buddy who says, hey, I got a shipment of something off a truck. Do you want? And he goes, yeah. Can I get in? I'll fund your next up, I'll fund the next thing. That's kind of the real way to do it. You don't need somebody who's done time. Don't intellectualize it, Italians. Don't do that. As I'm literally talking about, you see the way it's acceptable. I guess I'm kind of intellectualizing it as well. But the dangers of having a mob wife are that if you're making a lot of money, she might just say, you know what, we have enough. We have enough. We have enough. You see, all I want are clothes. That's the thing. A lot of them, D'Lo. The reason, I'll tell you why this guy's going fucking back to Italy right now. Because she can't imagine. Fuck her, dude. She's a doctor. I don't give a shit. She's a mob wife. Here's how I know. Because, or whether she's a mob wife or not, she wants to be one. Because she now has everything she wants, and she cannot imagine it being better. Isn't that nuts? She's like, I get clothes. I have a closet that's full. What more could I want? What, are we gonna get gonna buy steak in a startup? Gonna buy steak in a startup? What? No. Get me a Birkin bag. And she thinks it's a smart investment because it goes up in value. She never sells it. It's the thing, dude. Any woman who always says, yeah, designer bags are a really smart purchase because it's an investment. It goes up in value. You don't sell them. You keep them for your fucking collection. That's what they do. They just keep them. My precious. They just fucking hold on to them, dude. They hold on to them just to have variety. They like the option. They like the options, dude. The style options. I got all the style options in the world. What do we need? Another fucking $10 million a year. Yeah, whatever could we do with that? Buy a house per year? Build an empire, dude? Ronaldo's smart because he's an egomaniac and he's a psychopath as a result. He has hotel chains. He has other businesses. He has a fragrance line, the underwear line. Ronaldo, the most impressive thing about Ronaldo is that his son is probably going to be a pro footballer. The oldest one. The younger ones probably won't be. Because they will have kind of come up, I think, in the golden era. Or I kind of passed the golden era, actually. Cristiano Jr. came up and grew up during the golden era of football. The other ones will have grown up, I think, as he's kind of at the end of his career. And they'll remember very little, I think, of their father actually playing. So he's just going to be this rich guy. They're going to be these rich kids who go to rich schools, American schools, and they're not really going to understand, I don't know. I mean, I guess the boys could play football, but they're not really going to understand what the point of life is, dude. When you're that rich, you're just like, all right. I mean, I guess I could do whatever I fucking want, so I guess I'll do nothing, and he's going to build an empire, and they're just going to kind of be maybe they'll run the empire. If Cristiano's smart, he'll send a couple of them to business school. And start cracking the whip, man, what footballers are going to squander it and just kind of just die, die with the money. Kids are going to have a little money, and that's it. A lot of the guys who go to Saudi Arabia are like almost, you feel like they're going for a quick score. How many of them do you think are going to go to stay there? Not many, man. It's like they're going there to make a little bit of money, and then it's like, let's get the fuck. It's basically like a game of chicken to see how long can we stay here before I have to blow my brains out. I'm Sam Adamo. Subscribe if you're new. Leave a like on the video. That helps us out. D'Lo, thanks for being around this week. What's your read? What's your read on the mob wife thing? You like the mob wife aesthetic?
I don't really care.
Discuss.
They're gonna wear what they want to wear. Some of them. It's gonna be a trend.
What do you like? What do you not like? What do you not like? Is there anything that really bugs you?
I don't know what's been bugging me.
What's been bugging you?
I don't know if you've seen on TikTok. Girls put like these stars all over their faces, like these pimple patches.
Yeah.
I just find them so stupid.
Pimple patches.
Yeah, they're like these things that they put over their pimple to like hide their pimples.
Huh.
And they're like these stars and they're like all colorful. I just find it really stupid.
I forget how young you are sometimes. I forget you're a couple years younger than me. You're just getting like the younger you are, the more like ADHD autistic you are.
Yeah.
You're just getting like, you're getting people putting you're getting like 16-year-olds putting stars over their fucking face, dude, on their pimple. No, I don't. The women that I see on TikTok don't have pimples. They're older.
They're not even. I don't know. Whatever.
What are they? No.
They're
discuss.
like,
you can defend your point.
No, it's not even a point. It's like most of them don't like. They'll get like one pimple and then their whole face is covered with stars. I don't know. It's like it's a trend, I think.
Right. Sounds very. Sounds Japanese or Korean almost.
Maybe.
Does it have roots in East Asia?
Who knows?
I think a lot of. Yeah. Japan just influenced the fuck out of like TikTok trends for a while. There were those e-girls that was just basically like girls that look like they're from like a fucking manga. A manga? Did you ever read mangas growing up?
No.
Thank God, dude.
I
Yeah,
don't
bro.
know how people even watch what's it called? The
Anime. You know who likes that shit, dude? You notice how many Algerian kids love anime? Moroccans love anime, dude. They fucking love anime, dude.
Like I watched Pokemon growing up.
I didn't.
But that was about it.
Black guys love anime also.
Yeah.
Dude, black guys respect the fuck out of Asian culture. It's hilarious. You know what they say? They say, white guy versus a black guy, you bet on the black guy. White guy fighting an Asian guy, you bet on the white guy. Asian guy fighting a black guy, you bet on the Asian guy, always. That's the rule. That's the rule when fucking watching MMA. like if you have no knowledge, you just bet off race. Apparently some guys do that and they like
And it works.
I guess it's it's hit or miss, I guess.
It's profitable.
It's hit or miss, but there's some nights when it fucking really works. You know, a whole parlay of just racially motivated bets. Anyway, subscribe to the pod. Thanks for tuning in. Ciao.